I recently made a video where I talked about being in the right location when it comes to bass fishing is truly the top of the top. If you are in the right location, sometimes it really doesn't matter what lure you are throwing, you are going to catch fish. And the biggest reason that I say this is because there have been a number of situations where I've been in the boat with somebody else, we're throwing completely different lures, but then we get into that right area, we get into that right location, and both of us are catching fish consistently. Both of us are catching big bass, both of us are catching a lot of fish. Now, with that being said, I do not want to lead you guys astray. I do still think that there is a process that you need to think about when it comes to your lure selection. Now, I like to keep things really simple, like all of my bass fishing. And again, I still think that being in the right area takes the cream of the crop. Like, that is what you want to do. But if you have the right lure and the right area, you are going to catch a lot of bass. So in this video, I want to show you my exact lure selection process. So stay tuned, it's gonna be a good one. This video is brought to you by the Deep Dive app. This is an app you can download on your phone that really helps you to find and locate bass a lot quicker. Once you download this app, you can actually select the lake that you are fishing. You can also input data that you are seeing, like water temperature, water clarity, whether you're fishing around vegetation or in a windy or protected area. Once you put in all of this data, the app is going to spit out some strategies and lures that you can use to go and attack the body of water that you're fishing. And you can actually download it by clicking that link down below in the description. Now, in order for me to best show you my lure selection process, the same little process that I use every time I get to the body of water that I am fishing, I'm actually going to show you a clip from a video that I have previously made where I really laid this out in a kind of presentation that I think is best suited for this video. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage. There are two main categories of lures: horizontal lures and vertical lures. Horizontal lures are meant to be worked horizontally in the water column. These are lures like chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, jerkbaits, crankbaits, etc. Vertical lures are baits that you cast out and let sink vertically to the bottom, where then they can be worked across the bottom, like Texas rigs, jigs, Ned rigs, shaky heads, etc. Now, some vertical lures can also be fished horizontally, like a jig, aka a swim jig. So when we talk about lure selection, keep that in mind. Selecting a lure comes down to matching the bait profile and selecting the right color. Matching the bait profile is exactly what it sounds like. You want to choose a lure that best represents the bait or food that a bass is eating in your body of water. Maybe you're fishing a pond or lake where bluegill is the main forage. In that case, a chatterbait or a jig can really match a bluegill profile. Or maybe you're trying to match a crawfish. In that case, a Ned rig or a crankbait reeled across the bottom can really mimic a crawfish well. In both of these examples, I gave you one vertical lure and one horizontal lure. So how do you know which one to throw? Experimenting with both and seeing how the bass respond is typically best. However, you can choose a vertical or horizontal lure based upon the water conditions. The best way to explain water conditions is to explain them in terms of sound. You should fish horizontal lures in noisy and loud conditions, and you should fish vertical lures in silent conditions. Think of it this way: if you get to a body of water and it's sunny, there's zero wind, and the water is super clear. That is the definition of silent water. That is the most silent water conditions can be. There is nothing impacting the water at all. Variables that make water loud include cloud cover, wind, and water color. Therefore, the loudest of water conditions would be cloudy, very windy, and muddy water. You don't have to have all three variables to have loud conditions. You simply just need one. For instance, if you get to the water and it's sunny and you have clear water, but it's very windy, that would fall under the loud conditions category, and fast-moving horizontal lures will work well. Now again, this is just a starting point, but bass don't always read the same books that we do. So now we know what type of lure to choose and what conditions to fish it under. So we now need to know what color do we use. An easy fallback is always choosing a color that looks like the bait the bass are eating. For instance, if the bass are feeding on crawfish, then green pumpkin might be the best bet. If the bass are feeding on shad, then going with white or baitfish colored might be the best bet. However, water conditions can impact lure color greatly. When it comes to lure color, we basically have dark colored lures, natural colored lures, and bright colored lures. But instead of thinking of them like this in a straight line, I want you to think about them like this, kind of like a greater than symbol. The further a bass can see in the water, the more natural of a color you want. The less a bass can see in the water, the brighter or darker you can go with. Two variables that impact how far a bass can see in the water include water color and the amount of light penetration. In clear water, a bass can see well, so natural colors are going to work best. However, you may have water that is clear, but you are fishing during low light conditions. This impacts how far a bass can see, and so therefore darker and brighter colors will still work, although you are fishing clear water. Now, with all that being said, I truly believe that the best color in bass fishing is green pumpkin. Green pumpkin works almost across the country, no matter where I have been, but there are a few situations where I actually choose to use other colors besides green pumpkin. And I actually made a full video of that I'm gonna link right here. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I think you will enjoy this one as well. Please don't forget to comment below any questions you have, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.